I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial.
Hey guys, so okay, welcome back to Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. Let's carry on where we left off. We've got to resume the class trial. We just found out Chihiro is a guy, not a girl, which kind of flips the whole case upside down. What the hell is going on? Let's carry on.
We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
That explains why she could never train with Sakura and Hina, because... well, sorry, I should say he now, because he couldn't get into the girls' locker room. To think that Chihiro was actually a guy? The thought had never even crossed my mind. I don't think it crossed anyone's mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room.
And they can access the girls' locker room because Sayaka and Junko's e-handbooks are working and available for use.
And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
Was there an echo in here?
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Yeah, why would you move the body? Apart from the fact that you want to make people think that she got killed in the girls' locker room, so a girl must have done it, right?
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
Oh, shut up, you didn't know anything.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Now I've got doubt that Byakuya's the killer, then who the hell could have done it?
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Man, this game's just reading my mind right now.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
Did he?
But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
But then why dress it up like Genocide Jack killed her?
What?
Oh, him.
But
Sorry.
aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
Oh my god.
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery.
Like I said, he's gaslighting, man.
The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt.
The technical term for this is the orgy of evidence.
He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
Yeah, he's too smart. He's too smart to use something that can be traced back to him so easily.
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but
You'll take it?
it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Stupid, arrogant jerk.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
But why?
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
What's your game? Why do you have to alter the bloody crime scene for?
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
The killer must be very happy right now, whoever it is.
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
All I can say for sure is that Sakura didn't do it.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
I don't want to think Kyoko did it either.
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
Our lives are on the line. We need to make absolutely certain we've got the right person, Hero. Come on.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility, because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
How much more time, though?
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in, and since Leon's is broken, you definitely have to be a guy. Yeah. See, the game just knows what I'm saying. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Like I said, maybe they stole it. Celeste's account.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Celeste did.
All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer. And
Celeste.
it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man. Game over.
Alien reference.
Yay! No! Not game over!
Makoto, a deep thought over there, I like it. No, as a matter of fact, there is an eyewitness account regarding Chihiro. She has more information about that.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to... Well,
Come on, let's get off.
nobody get... I'm sure if someone saw the... Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that...
Yeah. All we need right now.
It's over. It's all over.
Right
you
here.
want to know who saw the victim?
The next one.
The killer. And only the killer. And it's
No,
not
missed
like
it.
they're just gonna
turn themselves... Game over, man!
I was nervous about those white noise appearing.
Isn't there a single clue? Well,
Come on, we can do this.
Nobody can... I'm sure if someone saw the...
perhaps someone saw the victim at...
Yeah.
It's over.
You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
No, Celeste saw it in the warehouse. Technically, I did too.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
I suppose that's why he was so obsessed with strength, right? Because if he's a guy and he's weak.
A track jacket and a duffel bag. But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It's still missing along with her handbook.
It
Well, his
seems
handbook.
likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Because he couldn't get in.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
Who would he have trusted?
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
Mondo, maybe? He had like a pact with him, a promise.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
But then wasn't...
You know who the killer is.
Wait, what? How?
Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
The track jacket. The duffel bag.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
Blue track jacket. Gray duffel bag. Who? Really, who? If we have to focus on guys, otherwise I'd probably suspect sort of Hina.
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Is there something I'm missing? I honestly have no idea right now. I'm just gonna follow Danganronpa's wild ride here.
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe. God, okay. I'm lost right now. Hopefully it becomes clear. Celeste's account again.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
No, it can't be it.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. 'Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally.
No
I
comparing
got it
colors
from
now?
the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
Okay, let's review things. Okay. Body was discovered. What does the blue tracksuit have to do with anything? She declined several invitations. Used the locker room late at night to avoid them. Chihiro says she desired help with her efforts. Dumbbell found his blood. Chihiro told anyone willing to listen that she wanted to get stronger. Some assume that due to her inferiority complex about being weak, she admired strength more than anything else. She got along remarkably well with her male classmates. Because it's a guy. Blue clothes. Oh, what am I missing? Mondo says his is black. Hero's saying his is white. Does that have anything to do with it though?
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
What? She's right. What he said just now is really odd. How did he know something like that? What? Did someone slip up?
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing!
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My
What?
tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
Cause exercising sucks.
How would you know the killer has the blue tracksuit, I guess?
I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer?
No way. Not a chance.
You
Came
heard
from
him,
Mondo
right?
and now
What he
Mondo's
just
saying
said
not a
without
chance.
even realizing it?
Oh no, it's flimsy. Yeah, how did he know the
First of
killer
all,
was
we know
wearing
where
a blue
Chihiro was.
tracksuit?
He was on his way. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was
Man.
wearing!
I'm stuck.
So, what you're
the first
saying
time, I think.
is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit,
I got it from the
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way.
Oh, I'm so lost right now.
Not a chance.
Is it Hero that slipped
You
up?
heard him, right?
Or Mondo? It's
What
one
he
of the
just
two.
said without even realizing it?
She's right, what he said just now is really odd. How did he know something like that? It's gotta be
First of all,
Mondo
we know
talking
where
about the blue
Chihiro was
tracksuit.
headed. He was on his way. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing!
Yes?
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit, personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Is it something to do with getting the tracksuit from the warehouse? On the night of the murder, right before nighttime, Chihiro was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seemed she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag. Presumably she was on her way to exercise, but the clothes were not found at the crime scene. Celeste had not told anyone other than Makoto about this encounter.
Why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the
I mean, it's
specific
so
tracksuit?
flimsy. Why would you choose a blue tracksuit
I
just
got
because the
it!
killer's wearing
He
it?
picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing!
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
Let me just fire this. Yeah, it's completely wrong. The hell are you talking about? Just shut up, you little bitch.
Shoot!
I need to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
No. Wrong.
Shoot!
The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit.
First of all, we
Not a
It's
chance.
just not
you
working.
heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
I honestly don't know what you're talking about. How did he know something like that? How did he know what?
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him. Is there anything wrong with that sentence? The killer was wearing the same tracksuit as him. 1 minute 30.
Cause exercising sucks.
Can't believe it's come down to this.
I have a white tracksuit, personally.
No, what's wrong? Yes, I see. What you're saying is, I have absolutely no idea.
Shoot!
Let me think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere. Is that it? Mondo said that they were wearing the same tracksuit clothes as him, but then Chihiro was found without a tracksuit on. Is that it? Have I finally unlocked the mystery here?
So next, why did he choose this?
What do you mean, the specific?
I got it! It matched the one the culprit was.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Oh my god.
That's wrong.
1 minute to spare.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Her clothes weren't found at the crime scene. Chihiro never wore the tracksuit. They were still in their school getup.
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Is that right? I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color.
Didn't we just discuss it? Oh, I don't even know.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
I thought we literally just talked about it.
What are you? You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
Wow. That's what I was missing.
As a matter of fact, it was blue?
Mondo!
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
No, I'm the only one you told.
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
Oh god, it was Mondo?
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was
Saw him.
is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility! Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night.
Are you sure?
He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, it was in a duffel bag, genius.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
Oh my god, it was Mondo. She stuffed the jacket into a bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Oh my god.
It would appear you dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
I agree with Byakuya, man. Couldn't you just spit it out? Why do I have to say everything?
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
I guess Kyoko's just so much smarter than us.
But why?
Than me.
What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
The way he talked, I guess.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
I did not notice at all.
You notice such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
Is it something we could have picked up on? I don't even know. It never occurred to me.
No, I'm not the frightful one.
But I was too I knew. See what happens when I overthink things.
Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Ooh.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've
Here
been
we go.
all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
Oh, jeez.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
Do we need more evidence?
That was fast.
Well, This does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
What?
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
What are you on
Oh
about?
yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Better be good.
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Just share it with the class.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... here it is.
The broken handbook?
What do you have there?
Was that Chihiro's handbook?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to
I got it!
Chihiro.
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
And you didn't think to present this to us?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
Oh, great.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
But they're not so easy to break.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall.
There must be a way to activate
For
it.
all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere?
Definitely.
How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook break? There's only one possible explanation. By hitting its weak point, by hacking it, by exploiting a bug. Damn it, what did Monokuma say? He mentioned something. There's a specific way
I got it!
to destroy it by hitting its weak point, right?
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that?
Vaguely, but I did remember it.
Sure, maybe I let that slip. But I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then...
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Would he really tell us?
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
Does he really care about a fair trial?
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... When it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
The sauna.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
It's Mondo's.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin.
Mondo must have figured it out.
If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
Good, you want to post it on TIL on Reddit?
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
And that's where that sauna thing... Is that what that explosion sound was?
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke?
Mondo kept his clothes on during the sauna challenge. Taka did not. He went in shirtless, and so he must have presumably left his handbook out with the rest of his gear. But Mondo brought everything in, his coat.
They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that?
That's all connected.
I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa! Seriously?
Very serious.
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
He might have brought their handbook into the sauna. It had to be the one who wore all their clothes into the sauna. It was... Son of a bitch. You.
Here's my answer!
Oh my god.
Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Because he's guilty.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid
My
proof.
body's having a breakdown. I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Oh, here we go. Multiple bullets. Broken e-handbook. Chihiro's e-handbook. Card reader. 12 minutes.
Let's test Makoto's assertion.
But half health.
If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Well, where's your handbook then? Produce it. Show us. I'm sure Mondo's handbook broke during their sauna showdown. If I can just prove that, then that will show that the handbook Mondo has must actually be Leon's. Leon's one didn't break during... That one in the main hall is actually Mondo's one. Where is it? Sorry, I'm so excited. One of the handbooks found in the main hall had been broken, which is apparently a rare occurrence. Junko and Sayaka's handbooks both seem to still work, so it is assumed the broken handbook is Leon's. Assumed. However, Monokuma claims it's very unlikely that Leon's handbook would have broken. There was no hot temperature when he got executed by all those softballs. Or baseballs. Sorry, how do I switch bullets? I forgot. With the mouse wheel up and down.
If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Oops.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
God,
That's wrong!
can't believe this. That's where that comes in. I was wondering at the very beginning, I was like, what does this have to do with anything?
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall
Oh
is
my God.
actually Mondo's,
It's all coming together.
which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Leon's dead. He can't technically lend out anything.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting.
It's not even loaning, it's theft, really.
As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch.
Got you.
What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
We're about to have a bullet time battle, aren't we?
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning?
Oh boy, here we go.
Danganronpa.